Good morning, everybody. I'm happy to be here and would like to say thank you very much to Akamai and Checkpoint that were so friendly to sponsor as a good partner from DXC to sponsor this activity here. And I also would like to say thank you to my colleague Andrew Lower and my colleague Michelle Ayers that worked in the background to sort all the different activities out, etc., and to work together with Checkpoint and Akamai and the organizers here to make this all happen. So my name is Lars Klinghammer, and I'm since 30 years in the IT security space and cyberspace. And I have been 15 years with Microsoft as working there in the cybersecurity global practice, supporting the customers in implementing enhanced security admin environment. It was, I'm pretty sure the security colleagues from you here in the room remember these principles with red forest and blue forest and the strict isolation between the different domains, etc. So that was something that I worked with customers together globally in Asia, in Middle East, Europe, and America. And after 15 years, I decided that it would be nice to do something else, or at least in a different employer. So I moved over to Hewlett-Packard Enterprise, which became in a merger from CSC with Hewlett-Packard Enterprise became DXC. There I'm working now since already, again, 10 years. It's surprising how fast the time runs, as global remediation leader. And what's my job there is I'm heading up a small global team reaching from India over Dubai to Switzerland, France, UK, Germany, Netherlands, Mexico, and supporting customers in two ways. That is either reactive, means during an ongoing incident in a crisis situation to support the organization in, together with our digital and forensic investigation team, to figure out what are the tactics, tools, and procedures of the threat actors, what are the indicators of compromise, and based on these information, to articulate short-term tactical, mid-term, and long-term strategies to improve the security of the organization, to get the threat actor out of the organization, and do all this in a way that, in best case, the systems that get rebuilt do not get recompromised immediately from the threat actor. So that's, as you can imagine, especially if it's in large, global, complex environments and intense work, let's say. And on the other side, based on that activities, as you can imagine, we gain a lot of insight and understanding of what went well, what is difficult, where are potential pitfalls, and using this knowledge in proactive activities to have consulting and normal architecture projects and sessions with customers and discuss how to improve their security there. And luckily, as I mentioned, I can do this across many different regions with different cultures and in different industries, and that's really kind of a privileged situation. And when I've got asked to do a session here, after such intense activities, I tend and like to relax sitting in the garden, taking a cigar, a nice Irish whiskey, and thinking about what are the, and try to, for this session here, come up with what are key things that would be of interest. And there are two things that resonated with me. One, that the moment where we are at this time is something that comes again and again and again, in the sense of we had 100+ years ago, we had an industrial revolution where everything got automated, the working conditions improved significantly, etc. Then the next one is something that significantly changed the way how we work, has been with a PC on everybody's desk, etc., with having computers and etc. And I'm definitely can follow the argumentation that at this moment in time, as you have seen in the panel discussions from the gentleman before, that with AI and the other technologies that are appearing at the horizon, that this already started to significantly change the way how we work, and it will further do so. And with this said, I thought about what are key trends and key points that I would like to mention. Surprise, surprise, AI is one of those. But key technologies that are essential for organizations in the next year or two to come, and to integrate into their security strategies, and what are the learnings from what we see when we support organization in crisis, and the shortcomings and strategy flaws, how can those applied / avoided in best case in the future, or when these technologies are applied and implemented. And something that was number one. And number two was that even with these new technologies and the new, as we see with the questions, at the moment in challenge to find use cases, etc. Something that always happened with all these different industries has been that there are always two sides of the medal. One thing is to the good, in the sense of I can use new functions, I have easier way to work, etc. On the other side, the threat actor has the same advantages and can get, especially in the sense of AI, get significantly faster in the frequency when they attack and in the complexity on the machine level speed. So, and this has always been since new technologies has been invented. It's a constant battle between good guys and bad guys, between attackers and defenders. And a pretty good example for that this has been the case are the statements from the scientists here that you can find. And something that is, from my point of view, calming the situation and the excitement and the risk slightly down is that it always has been that way, that the pointer can't be seen here, but something that will happen and still happens, and every week, every day, every year happens, is that attackers scale like businesses. So it's not one script kiddie in the basement with a dirty shirt and having pizzas around. It's really business-like attackers, and that the way to survive the further evolution of the better and more efficient tools is that defenders must respond with intelligence. That's definitely also true. And under the statement from Darwin with survival of the fittest, and that strategies need to be adjusted. Saying that, I would like to describe four different categories that I would like to bring up in a few very short sentences and in the next few minutes, which is based on when we are within customers and having strategic discussions, we get regularly asked for zero trust, AI and security, post-quantum resilience, which is not that distributed yet, but I think is something that belongs into every enterprise security strategy. And of course, regulatory challenges and regulatory change that need to be adhered to. And that's basically what will come next. So, zero trust. Whenever my teams get involved in crisis situations, something that we see is, and that we realize is, if we discuss with the various teams in these situations, the statement is, oh yeah, we are mature, we have implemented this solution. But what happened is that there are small islands where one business unit has installed strong authentication. The other business unit or a different leader in a different region has more prioritization on microsegmentation and all these various technologies. But there's not a consistent, comprehensive strategy across all the different things that are required. And what needs to be considered, and this is not just since 10 years or something like that, that the security approaches that need to be taken has been shifted away from being a normal fortress approach to a disappearing network perimeter, in the sense of, and we all realize this with Corona, etc., when users working intensively from home offices, this is, at least at DXC now, comes back a little bit from being mainly in the offices, going back into the offices. But what more or less is the case is that the new security boundary is not the newer security boundary, and further augmented challenge due to the fact that you get AI and quantum is that data and identity is really the key that need to be protected. And for that reason, something that is crucial to understand is that these different entities need to be protected sufficiently. So how or what are the key things that need to be considered in order to bring your enterprise and enterprise security strategy on the right track, and the associated technologies is, in the sense of zero trust, that the same security principles that we have applied since years do not dramatically change, even if you have AI. What I often hear when we are in discussions with customers is, how can we secure our AI? And I will come to this in a few minutes to in the next slides, is the base principles remain the same. You just need to apply all the principles that have been articulated since years already sufficiently against these various components. And one key is that, and that's again something that we see regularly, is that you need to understand what you have in your environment. When you ask an organization, what are your crown jewels, and you ask 10 people or 10 different leaders, you can be pretty sure that you get 12 answers, which one is the most important one. And having an understanding of what is your crown jewels and apply these principles starting from a specific location from the crown jewels at first. And somebody said at the from the podium discussion some minutes ago, said, start small and think big. This is I can't agree more, that 100% true, that you need to figure out what are your crown jewels, these are the highest priority, and from there starting with all the different activities in the sense of zero trust and all other security technology implementations that you want to make. That means, in a sense of zero trust, so that you understand how should your network segments look like, that you understand which authentication mechanisms can I use within my environment, and which algorithms are compatible, etc. And future-proof in the sense of quantum computing. And at the end, this will lead to a situation that when you start, in a sense of start small, think big, and applying all these security principles, that you will be significantly more efficient at the end in the protection of your environment. That's so far for the one final thought on that. That's also listed here on the table, is on the slide, is that fits to the topics that I said at the beginning with the islands, that this implementation of zero trust is not I buy a technology, I buy a product, and then I have zero trust implemented. The really important thing is that it's a longer lasting strategy that you need to align, as I said, with your priorities and with the business that is associated to this one. AI. Something that is crucial with AI is, again, as I said at the beginning, that there is a good side and the bad side. And something that is the most important part for the AI security is there is always a description regarding that you have north-south data flows and or security and western-eastern flows, so that you know and understand which components are making up your AI infrastructure, and based on that, being able to sufficiently protect and apply all these principles that I mentioned before, apply those to your infrastructure. If you don't have a sufficient governance and insufficient security for your AI components, you will have a threat actor in a worst case in your internal environment, self-built and on machine speed. And having this understanding of what you have in a sense of CMDB, that it's actually that you know which systems you have, what are the dependencies of each other. This is something that you need, A, in a crisis, and B, to protect your environment. You only can, and that's, again, not a new principle, but it's often overseen and overlooked, at least to a significant part, that you only can protect what you know about. And that is even more crucial with securing AI. And the AI data is the new, let's say, perimeters that you need to take into consideration, and the model data that you use to train your information that you need to look at as a supply chain environment, let's say. When you get this compromised, this will flow through your whole environment and will generate significant risks for your organization there. Quantum resilience. I had a presentation in May where I had to articulate how threat enterprise organizations should handle quantum resilience. The difference between, I don't know if everybody is within this, is that normal IT has ones and zeros with the normal bits. In quantum, it's qubits. Qubits can have different states. It cannot be just 1 and 0, it can also be both together, and it can take a superposition and where you have an undefined state in between, and these qubits can also be entangled and can react with each other in between. That leads up to a significantly higher mathematical capacity and capability, and as you know, all your security or many of the cryptographic algorithms within your security products are based on calculating complicated big numbers. And with the improved calculation power of qubits and quantum computing, threat actors will gain the ability in the not too far future, the ability to brute force these encrypted and confidential data. So what threat actors do today is they gather all encrypted data, may it be, especially take into consideration long-lasting data requirements for medical healthcare, defense, governmental communication. All this stuff is already collected and stored somewhere else. And in the meanwhile, the quantum industry further evolves. And there is an approach to figure out, is this already relevant for your organization, which is called Moscow's theorem. And based on that, you have these different lanes here. And the first one is the time that you require to improve your algorithms in your systems, plus the time that you have for your data requirements, 10 years, 12 years, 15 years, depending on your business. If these times together are longer than the time until quantum is available in an industrialized way, then you have a delta of or a risk for your confidentiality of the delta of these two timelines. And if you make these calculations for your own organization, you get an understanding of, is this something that we should start to consider in our next plannings for our strategy? And something that I wanted to mention here is, as you can, depending on the size of the organization and the complexity, to get a sufficient understanding to know what you have, which algorithms do I have, in which locations, how does the compatibility look like if I increase the number of, the length of my keys, if I change the key algorithm. The response behavior of the systems may change if you change the algorithm. This will have a significant impact to your systems, and it will be a significant effort to find all the nitty-gritty details of the dependencies to these different algorithms that you may or may not need to change in your environment. So don't underestimate this, and even if quantum is 10 years, 12 years, 15 years away, you should at least think about these things and make an informed decision. We will wait further 1 year, 2 years, or we need to start. This will come around the corner very likely. I think the time gets to the end, so I have to jump slightly over the regulatory thing. Something that is important with and that is similar to what I explained to the quantum computing topic is the ability to change the algorithms within the tools is called crypto agility. And in the same way, I think something that need to be established and that organizations, at least we DXC, try to establish is that as a leading security services and IT services provider, we have thousands of customers with different regulatory requirements. And what we establish is in regulatory agility, in a sense of implementing all the different controls and just mapping them against the various standards in a way so that we can achieve this compliance significantly faster as if we would use single, let's say, projects to address a single standard in a single region. We try to address this across the whole industry as efficient as possible so that we get this regulatory agility that's significantly more effective from our side. So the change of these different 4 topics, zero trust, AI, quantum computing, and the regulatory thing will and has impacted us already. And as it has been described by the 3 scientists at the very beginning of this session, we need to adapt, and we have been adapting since years. So there's no reason to be afraid of what is coming around the corner. And a key of all this is collaboration and being open-minded and see what things works best in the various situations, as we see when we are in incidents, that we take the learning from there and apply it to proactively to the different activities. That was the, I don't want to say technical, but the more the associated to technologies topics. Something that I wanted to underline is that an organization like DXC, we have an approach to get familiar with these technologies in an eat your own dog food approach. So we are customer zero for ourselves and apply all the different technologies in our environment, and with a workforce of the 3,200 people here plus, we are in a lucky position in crisis situation to pull subject matter experts from all the various regions and across all the different industries and technologies so that we are able to get these things addressed and use these things proactively when we deploy and maintain and operate these kind of activities. We have 12 SOCs around the globe and can support on these topics. So what we often hear in strategic discussions that organizations don't know that we offer all these security services. So, and that's sort of the most salesy statements that you will hear from me here today. We can address, and that I can say this from my own experience in these crisis situations, we find, if it's required, subject matter experts for almost any technology and any situation and industry. At the end, I would like to say thank you that you hear and listen, and would like to invite you to, this is an awesome opportunity. We are all privileged in having the opportunity to travel around, talking to other people, learn about other challenges and industries. So take this opportunity to collaborate. As these three gentlemen at the beginning said, if we learn and if we adapt, we are in the advantage of being able to cope with all these challenges. And with this, have an awesome day for this event here, and I'm looking forward to interesting discussions. And if somebody wants to discuss any of these topics, it was a very short session on the quantum and incident response part. I'm here and running around and more than happy to discuss. Thank you very much. Have a great day and enjoy your event.
Thank you very much, Lars.